So thank you for joining the first Tuesday of December community meeting of our Semantic Router. Uh, so this is our first time to have the early sessions. So hopefully we can get more people awareness by next time. So the idea of this meeting is to get some of the logistic arrangements. Let me share my screen first. On the CI and the release. If you have some other item to discuss, just feel free to add to the meeting minutes. So for the first one, let me just fill out my information. And if you have access to the Google Doc, feel free to add your name over there. So we have the milestone for V1 release. And I checked the open items. I find out many of these open issues have been worked on by separate efforts, but they are not marked on the open issue. So if you are working on any of the issues, for example, I think Sanjeev, you have the work in progress, or maybe you have already finished the ESTL, and I can still see the ESTL adapter here. So if this is something
Yeah,
that you have already finished, you just mark it as closed.
yeah. I think there are some issues which should be marked closed, even though the work is already completed.
Yeah, enough. Yeah, I think this has been a long while since we opened the issues, but we did not follow the issues very well. So once you have a chance, you can just take a look at the open issues, see if this is something that you can pick up, or if this is something you feel have already finished, you can just mark them as closed. We are The goal is to have the O1 release by next January, so we are halfway over there. So hopefully we can just get more actions finished by finish soon, so we can have a realistic estimate when we can cast the first release. And the second is I do like to have the AI CI get more robust. The more test runs is great, but right now we have an issue that the GitHub runner is getting uh, less friendly to our test environments because we have to run so many tests in the first place and have so many models to validate. So the disk space allocated for the runner is gets exhausted. I think the issue is not the total disk space, it's the issue that we using the root file system for most of the runtime. And GitHub actually gives us more space on the thermal space. So if you look at the some of the action, we see the test and run, integration test. Okay, test and build. If you look at the test and run, we get more disk space. Then we actually need to use. The thermal disk space is much bigger than the root file system. Not the model. Well, that's not this one. All right. I probably can find it offline. So the idea is that if somebody can take action to look at what's the disk space arrangements on GitHub Runner, and using the proper directory structuring, then we should be able to get more disk space out of the runner and going through that issues, get out of this running out of space issues. So that's my concern at the moment. The other things that I want to put together is we got a lot of requests for the in-tree and out-of-tree discussions. For the first time, we have this classification. So some of the ideas of implement in-tree takes a longer time. So we have this MCP interface to have the out-of-tree classification mechanisms. So if you want to have some experimentation or some prototypes or third-party connections, you can use the MCP interface to connect with your classifier, and then we can just use that as the interface to get the results, as long as there's a protocol built in between. And then I think that is also a discussion we can raise for the other things like a guardrail, PII. If you have your own models or own facilities for adoption, and you feel that the entry is not the best way for that to happen, you can use the MCP as a bridge to connect to your guardrail models or PII detection models. So this is, I think, some of the the paper is not clear today, but that is going to be flashed out as a proposal. So once that happens, we potentially can create yet another interface for guardrail and PII detection, and hopefully we can formalize the processes of in-tree and out-of-tree for what kind of functionalities to be included. So hopefully that is like we can make a decision before we get too messy on the code base.
Is that documented currently? How to add some out of tree classifier or PII or whatever?
So,
Is it
so Zilan is going to put the proposal. He had an issue he could not make to the meeting today, but he will send us the proposal to make the out of tree guardrail and PII detections through MCP very soon.
okay? But it will go through MCP.
Yes, because we already have the MCP interface protocols connected. So we have the router has the implementation as a MCP client. So if you just start up just another MCP server for your guardrail or PII, then that could be done in that way.
Okay.
And for in the near future, we potentially could have yet another MCP use case for potentially this is not finalized yet for the semantic cache. So at the moment, we have two semantic cache supported. One is the Milvus, the second is Redis. So if third party want to support their own proprietary database that we do not have access to, they can use the MCP interface to put together the necessary protocols for semantic cache.
Okay.
Yeah, so that is something we want to get your attention. The okay.
Yeah, just mentioned that the out of tree proposal will be available soon.
Yes, from
Oh, Senan. Oh, okay.
yeah. So he will put together a proposal. He pinged me yesterday, but he said he will not be able to join the meeting today for personal issues. All right, so that is my information I want to get from you for input. As you see, this December is always very tight. Potentially people will be on vacation by the third week of the month. We only have less than 2 weeks to work on the items. And by January, we potentially only have the last 2 weeks for action. So together, we have no more than 4 weeks for the first release. So so we either have to prioritize the importance issues or have to actively closing out the open issues so we can cast the first release by the end of the first month of the 2026.
When you say first release, you mean 1.0 or
Point 1.0 or point 1. So the point 1 release,
oh,
that's the
0.1?
one. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Mhm. All right. Yeah. If you can just quickly share what's your progress and what you plan to do, that's really great. So on my side, I mostly working on the performance issues, like how we can accelerate the semantic cache and have more ecosystem support, this kind of action.
I'm looking at some architecture topics related to both guardrails as well as the alignment with LLMD and other projects,
Thank you.
Istio, Istio and LLMD, and probably pick up something else also. Uh,
That's cool. Thank you.
Yeah, for my side, I mainly try to add the support for adding the vLLM to connect to running a small node for the semantic router.
Great. So potentially the MCP proposal, you can just review it and see if this is something we can uh, provide
Yeah, sure.
input. Thank you.
sorry, can you repeat what you said? I didn't catch that.
The
Your
MCP proposal
for
for
what?
guardrail. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we should stay in sync away.
Mhm. And Samsung, nice to meet you here. We have been putting out each other on GitHub. So
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. On my side, I working focus on document and help 就是 help as user use the semantic router, and I want to focus on maybe I think I can do something about to save GitHub workflow.
okay.
Isn't too slow. Okay.
Yeah, definitely. This actually becomes an issue. So we get so many end-to-end tests. I think there was
Yeah,
right
yeah,
now there are
yeah,
14.
yeah,
If we can just structure it in a better way, that'd be great.
yeah. I when I open the PR, I think the test is too much. If I just change workflow, I think end-to-end test case not needed to run. So I think it can be to make it so more smart. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, and I have some time where to do and to finish it about some run Mavis and Kubernetes. Uh, yeah, I'm focused on Kubernetes. It's uh, uh, my okay my 擅长. Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, gotcha. No worries.
Okay.
Like I speak
So
two languages. It takes a little bit while to switch the language, but I
yeah.
definitely get what you think. Yeah. So I think
Yeah.
that's definitely the focus as well. So in Red Hat, we also are very Kubernetes centric. So as long as we are, having the same platforms as we are using, we can
Mm,
definitely make that happen in this project.
okay.
Yeah. So this could be the short meeting. Hopefully, I can see you in 2 more weeks, in the third week of third Tuesday of the month. I know some of you will be on vacation. So if I don't see you by then, have a great holidays and keep in touch on GitHub and Slack.
Okay. Sorry, I have a question for
Huh?
how we need to enable the Gemini code review.
Okay. Um,
Yeah.
at the moment, yeah. So the code review, I mentioned this in the last meeting. That right now, we are using most of the people are using the code generator. So it becomes very hard to review everything because the
Yes.
sheer amounts of code. So the proposal you have on using the Gemini code review is really a good idea. If we are able to enable it, then we have the copilot for review. So we at least have two review bots. And that will help us to reduce the amounts of review work.
Okay.
And then definitely there are human reviews needs to kick in. But I feel that at the moment, the best is to have the exhaustive test coverage. So whenever people are sending PRs, they should also send the unit test and the end-to-end test to make sure that the features are being tested. And
Yes.
so that will give us more confidence how we are going to accept the code. If we have to review the every details, then we are going to, right now we have this the owner file under each of the directories. They are just calling out the code base owner. But I don't think that is doing the best thing at the moment because people are just so far behind in different time zones. So we need to figure out what's the best way to get the code owner's attention to review the code, or we don't use the code owner at all. We just need to have a release manager to look at the PRs and pin the right owner to get their attention to review the PR and then eventually gets evaluated and merged. It's still TBD. So I think the best way, because most of the people are not here today. So let's just think on the Slack channel to see if we can just get consensus. If people are,
Okay.
yeah,
That's
if
great.
people can spend their time working on the reviews, that will be great. If not, the review bots and end-to-end test are our safety net.
Okay. I just think we can use the AI to do web coding, and I found that every PR it's so large, so
That's true.
cannot to review.
Yeah. So I think that is painful for many other projects as well, even for vLLM. I think some
Yes.
vLLM used some of the additional, not just Gemini, they use some additional review bots to help them to find out what's the best, the most important PR to review and what's the critical issues over there. We do
Okay.
not have that service yet, but hopefully we can get some of the, if not the best, at least some of the useful service to help us to reduce the amounts of workload to do, to look at the code. But in the very least, we still need to have all the end-to-end tests. And
Okay.
the team from Sinan has done a very good job on adding more end-to-end tests to the code base so we can have good coverage.
Okay. Okay, about the code review, I have no question. So, last question for just we have so many people from China speak or reading speak Chinese. So I think that we need creating a Chinese version for our document website.
Okay, I think that's a good idea too. I see vLLM has their own documentation websites on different languages. Yeah, that's definitely a good point. If you are able to have the translations or even have your own versions in different languages, that's definitely very helpful.
Okay. And I know some person, most person have a Kubernetes document. So I want to invite him to help us to translate to English to Chinese, and I wanted to develop a script for when in the English document upgrade, so we can create an issue or just use the AI translator at the first and create a PR for review. And I have an idea about this. So I think I can create a proposal, a Google document
Okay.
for beginning. Okay.
Yeah, that's really good. So if we can just, I guess, some of the people, we do want to have the contents updated as soon as we can. So let's just say
Yes.
if some of the English contents are put onto the website, if there's a Chinese
Mhm.
translation, we hopefully then people who are working on the translation can make it happen as well as they can. So we do not
Okay.
want to lose, the worst things to happen is to have very stale information on websites, have this split brain issue that it's really hard for people to follow which are the best instruction to use.
Yes.
It's not happening right now, but it could happen in the future if we have an experimental feature and then we have the documentation in one language, and then people follow the old instruction, and then they will find out something is broken. So that will be very bad for the experience. So if somebody wants to do the translation, hopefully they can be committed to these efforts uh, for the future.
Okay. 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 I have no question.
All right, thank you for the input. So yeah, let's stay in touch in Slack channel and also GitHub. So hopefully you have wonderful holidays.
Thank you.
Bye bye.